Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're looking at two classic UK coins, the 1982 and 1983 50 pence pieces. These coins are an interesting part of British coinage history, and while most are common, some uncirculated, coinage-proof versions, and rare errors can sell for big money. In this video, I'll explain what makes these coins collectible, and how much they're worth on today's market. Let's get started. First up, the 50 pence coin was first introduced in 1969, ahead of the UK's switch to decimal currency in 1971. It was designed as a replacement for the old 10 shilling note for over 2 decades. The original 50p was larger and heavier than the ones we use today. The 1980 to 50p sits right in the middle of this large size era. It was struck between 1969 and 1997, when the Royal Mint eventually reduced the size to the smaller, lighter version. We all know that means this coin is considered a large type 50p, which already gives it some collector appeal since it is no longer circulating. Now let's talk about the design. The obverse of the 1982 50p features the second definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machen. This design shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara facing right, and it was used from 1968 until 1984. On the reverse, we have a beautiful depiction of Britannia seated beside a lion holding a trident in one hand and an olive branch in the other. This classic Britannia design by Christopher Ironside was a symbol of Britain's strength and peace, and it appeared on 50p coins until 2008, when the Royal Shield designs took over. When it comes to mintage, the 1980 to 50p is not rare by circulation numbers, but it's still historically significant. Roughly 49 million of these coins were struck for general circulation that year, which means they were once very common in everyday change. But since the Royal Mint withdrew large-size 50p coins from circulation in 1997, most people no longer encounter them. Millions have been melted down over the years, so the surviving coins are now largely in private hands, either with casual holders or serious collectors. So what is a 1982 50p worth today in circulated condition, where the coin shows signs of where you can expect it to be worth just around face value to £1, depending on condition? But if you have one in uncirculated or brilliant uncirculated condition, for example from a Royal Mint set, the value can go up significantly. These pristine examples can fetch anywhere from £3 to £10 or more, particularly if graded by a professional service and certified as MS65 or higher proof versions. Struck with special mirror-like finishes for collectors can command even higher prices. One reason collectors still love the 1982 50p is its link to the early days of decimal coinage and its beautiful classic Britannia design. Since large-size 50p coins are no longer used, they have become a sort of time capsule from a different era of British currency. Some collectors even aim to build a complete date run of all large-size 50p coins from 1969 to 1997, and 1982 is an essential piece of that set. It's also a great starting point for beginner collectors because it's relatively affordable but still offers historical significance. Interestingly, 1982 did not feature any special commemorative reverse design, unlike later years which sometimes had limited edition themes like the EU presidency or D-Day. However, some collectors do look out for error coins, such as off-center strikes, weak strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. Though genuine errors from this year are very scarce, if you suspect you have an error coin, it's worth getting it authenticated by a reputable numismatic expert before selling it. From an investment standpoint, the 1980 to 50p is not considered extremely rare, but pristine examples and proof sets can appreciate in value over time as fewer survive in top grade. The general trend with withdrawn large coins is upward, especially as nostalgia drives demand among new collectors. If you have a full set of large-size 50ps, including 1980, to holding onto it could be a smart move as they become harder to find in the wild. Here's a fun fact. The large 50p was actually criticized when it first came out for being too big and heavy, and people even joked that it could be used as a mini coaster. By 1997, when the Royal Mint finally reduced its size, there was a collective sigh of relief from the public, but today collectors cherish these large coins precisely because they stand out and feel substantial in the hand for many people. Finding a 1982 50p in an old change jar brings back childhood memories of pocket money and vending machines. So there you have it, the full story of the 1982 UK 50 pence coin, its history, design, mintage value, and why collectors still love it. If you've got one of these coins lying around, check its condition carefully. You might have a nice little collectible on your hands. And if you enjoy videos like this, where we deep dive into specific coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Drop a comment below if you have a 1980 to 50p in your collection, or if you've ever found one by surprise. And next up, the 50 pence coin was introduced in 1969 as part of the UK's transition to decimal currency, and it served as the replacement for the 10-shilling banknote from 1969 to 1997. The 50p was much larger and heavier than the ones in circulation today. The 1983 50p comes toward the end of this large size era, but it is historically important because it was the first year that the word "new" was removed from the legend on the reverse. Before 1982, the coin said "new pence" to help the public get used to decimal currency. From 1982 onward, it simply says 50 pence. That small change might not seem like much, but for collectors it marks a dividing line between early decimal coins and later ones, and it makes the 1983 issue a key date for a complete collection. Design-wise, the 1983 50p continues with the classic Britannia reverse design by Christopher Ironside. This timeless image shows Britannia seated with a shield bearing the Union Jack, holding a trident in her right hand and an olive branch symbolizing peace in her left. To her side sits a lion, reinforcing the idea of British strength and resilience. On the obverse, we have the second definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth, to by Arnold Machen, featuring the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This portrait was used from the late 1960 South until 1984 and is instantly recognizable. The combination of the Britannia reverse and Machen portrait gives the 1983 coin a very classic look that many collectors admire. Here's where things get particularly interesting. The 19835 op was not actually issued for general circulation at all, unlike many earlier years. Instead, it was only available in annual mint sets and uncirculated presentation packs from the Royal Mint. The total mintage was around 129,000, which is dramatically lower than typical circulating 50p coins from previous years, which were struck in the tens of millions. This limited mintage makes the 1983 50p one of the key dates for collectors of the large-size Britannia series because it was produced solely for collectors and not found in everyday change. If you have one, it likely came from a set or from a coin dealer rather than your pocket money. The Royal Mint also struck proof versions of the 1983 50p featuring a polished mirror-like feel and frosted design. These were sold in deluxe proof sets, often alongside a commemorative £1 coin, because 1983 was also the first year the pound coin was issued. These proof coins are particularly desirable if still in their original packaging, and they tend to command higher prices than the standard uncirculated examples. Collectors appreciate them for their sharp details and high quality strike, which makes the design look even more elegant. So what is a 1983 50p worth today? The answer depends heavily on condition and whether it's a standard BU coin or a proof in excellent uncirculated condition from a set. You might expect it to fetch anywhere from £5 to £10, sometimes more, depending on market demand. The proof version usually 20 and occasionally higher if graded by a professional coin grading service at TR69 or PR70, because it was never struck for circulation. Any coin you see with heavy wear is likely damage from mishandling rather than genuine circulation, and that can hurt its collector value. Collectors love the 1983 50p because it is one of the few non-circulating definitive Britannia coins to complete a date run of large size Britannias. You absolutely need the 1983 issue, which makes it an essential piece for any serious UK coin collection. Its low mintage gives it an instant premium, and since many were kept in sets, good examples are still relatively easy to find, but as time passes and sets get broken up or lost, pristine coins become scarcer and prices tend to rise slowly. From an investment perspective, the 1983 50p is a solid mid-range choice. It's not as expensive as the very rare commemorative 50ps like Kew Gardens 2009, but its limited mintage and collector-only status help maintain steady demand. Over the last decade, prices for this coin have gradually increased, particularly for graded and encapsulated examples. If you own one, especially a proof coin, it's worth storing carefully in a protective holder to prevent tarnish and scratches long-term. These coins are likely to keep appreciating, especially as more collectors decide to complete full pre-1997 50p sets. Here's a cool bit of trivia. 1983 was also the year that the £1 coin debuted, so many collectors remember buying the 1983 mint set specifically to get that very first pound coin, meaning the 50p often got overlooked at the time. Ironically, it's now one of the most sought-after pieces in that set because of its relatively low mintage and non-circulating status. It's a great reminder that sometimes the ordinary-looking coins turn out to be the real hidden gems. So there you have it. The complete story of the 1983 -1 pence coin, its design, limited mintage, collector-only release value today, and why it holds such a special place in British numismatics. If you've got one of these coins, you might be surprised to learn how collectible it is. Take good care of it, and if you're missing one, it's definitely worth adding to your collection sooner rather than later while prices are still reasonable. If you found this deep dive helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss more coin collecting guides just like this one. And let me know in the comments, do you own the 1983 50p, or are you hunting for one to finish your set? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time as we explore more treasures of British coinage. Thanks for watching.